So my father-in-law and I went fishing at Prairie Queen Lake today, and this is just kind of a little bit of a report of how we did. If you look around in this first video that I'm panning through, this is where we parked ourselves for about half hour, and we were using different presentations. I used a 1/32 ounce jig head with a worm to try to catch a small fish that I could then put on a bigger rod that I would then Carolina rig and have sitting at the bottom of the lake. This is how I normally do things to try to catch much bigger fish. I've caught big fish like catfish and largemouth bass this way, and it's kind of a passive way of catching fish, and I can actively fish another way, which I usually fish with a Gary Yamamoto Texas rigged weightless weedless Senka. Tragedy struck as I was checking my big rig, as I like to call it, just to check the bait. I was reeling it in and found out I was really badly snagged, and it broke. And so I had to retie my fluorocarbon leader and retie everything up. And by that time, we decided to move to a new spot. We spent a little over half hour at this next spot, and it's a great place for catching little panfish, but also it's got some areas where you could throw a weedless presentation and try to go for largemouth bass. Oh, here you can see, yep, it looks like I got my dogs out, and so we were fishing this. My father-in-law was catching some small panfish, and I eventually hooked up with a little tiny largemouth bass, as you will see momentarily here. He wasn't the biggest, but he was still a bass. So I unhooked him, took a quick picture, took this video of me releasing him, and off he went to go do his bass life. Hopefully he grows big and strong. Moved on to a new spot where I caught the best fish of the day. He was probably around 10 or 11 inches, largemouth bass. But what was really amazing about this catch is I threw it in there. I actually saw him strike the Gary Yamamoto worm, and I was able to reel him in and get this video and take this quick picture right here. But that was about it, so we moved to a new spot. Next spot is always what I like to consider my white whale of Prairie Queen. I always think this place is going to produce more than I end up catching. I think it has great potential, great underwater contours. It's got aquatic vegetation, it's got this rock, it's got this channel. It just seems perfect, and I swear every time I never catch what I'm hoping to catch, and I always am skunked in this spot, and it makes me very sad. It was starting to get a little toasty, and so we decided, because the lake wasn't that busy with other boat fishermen, we decided to go a good distance and go under the bridge. There's only one bridge that goes across this lake, and we hope to park ourselves under it and catch as many fish as possible. But alas, that was not in the cards. I didn't want to move out from under there, so I kept on throwing all sorts of different presentations out there, worms to artificial to what have you, hoping to catch a fish under the bridge, but nothing. Hated to admit it, but we had to go, so we tried one more spot. It was a pretty shallow area that had a lot of cover and what looks like this duck that was molting. I don't know, do ducks molt? But guess what? We caught nothing here either. Caught a few snags, and so we decided to call it up for the day. We decided to troll all the way back to the dock, and I had one last surprise where I was able to catch a bluegill, a good sized one, on a beetle spin. We got 12 fish total for the day. One last point of interest is I used my Sunshirt that I bought at YETI, of all places, the YETI store, and it worked beautifully. I didn't have to put sunscreen on, I wasn't hot, it was nice. It was really nice.
Oh!